Out of the way, your next comedian coming to the stage is a recent college graduate, and when she found out being heavyweight champion of the world wasn't in the cards, she turned to stand up. Put your hands together for Fencl.
Thank you. Mighty kind. I was just thinking that, a lot of people here are friends and family of the comedians, and I gotta say, this is probably the best situation to be in. I know, because I used to run cross country, and I feel like my parents are just so grateful right now to be inside and sitting down and drinking, because, when you run cross country, you stand in the cold at 7 a.m., and, you see the runners run by for like 2 seconds, and they go, and then it's like, yeah, okay, now they went in the woods, and now I'm cold, so this is just a major improvement. So thank you. It's mighty kind. So like Craig said, my name is Fencl, and it's spelled Callie, K-A-L-I, space F-E-N-C-L. Both names have been hard to have growing up. I bet you thought, if you looked at my name on a piece of paper, you'd be like, Kaylee Fencl? And I'd be like, no, Callie Fencl. And then you'd say, shouldn't there be some more vowels in your last name? And I'm like, are you Czechoslovakian? You do not get a vote. So, I always had to spell my name for everyone, growing up. My parents taught me, when you spell it on the phone, you need to be polite, and you need to say it like F like in Frank, E-N-C-L. And so one time, I forgot my manners, and I forgot the rule that they taught me, and so I was on the phone with this woman who just was not getting it. So she keeps going, S? And I'm like, no, F. S? No, F. S? No, F like in fuck you, E-N-C-L. I forgot my manners. I just realized my mom is here tonight, and she can't do anything about me swearing right now. So the name Callie has been hard to have growing up as well. And my parents, they wanted me to have like a unique, cool name. And because, my mom is named Susan, and she always said there were between 5 to 12 Susans in her class growing up. And, my dad's name is Howard, and, he'll tell you, who looks at a baby and thinks Howard? like my grandparents were like, this baby right here, he's gonna be a mortgage broker. He's gonna be named Howard. No, so they put a lot of thought into it. And, my mom was thinking, oh, we're gonna name her Caitlin after Caitlin Thomas, the poet. And just saying that sentence, I'm so glad that didn't work out, because doesn't that sound so pretentious? But I don't, I'm really glad that didn't work out, because she found out that Caitlin was an alcoholic, so she couldn't have that. So then the movie Heathers came out. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Heathers. My mom was thinking about Heather before the movie came out, and then, if you haven't seen it, one of the girls named Heather murders one of the other girls. And my mom thought, no, there's just no way. My daughter's gonna grow up to be a bitchy, murderous teenager, and I just can't have that. And I thought, that's just not fair, because, that's just teenage girls, All teenage girls, they're terrible people, and they all, they're bitchy, they're all slightly homicidal, some just hide it better than others. So, yeah, see, she gets it. So that was out. And so the name that they landed on was Callie. And I get a lot of people who ask me, Callie, that's so pretty, what does that mean? Well, as it turns out, the name Callie, the way that I spell it, means goddess of death and destruction. Because, look, why not? Look at me. So my parents didn't know this right away. They must have had a more forgiving baby book or something, because they didn't know. And 3 years after I was born, I'm accustomed to my name and I'm answering to it. There's no going back. They find out what it means, and my dad just goes, don't tell her, ever. You know how sometimes kids find out about drugs and sex on the streets? I found out about my name on the streets. And when I say streets, I mean Google. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I'm from the suburbs. There are no streets. There are only cul-de-sac, which is the plural of cul-de-sac, which I also Googled. And so I found out that this goddess, she has like a bunch of arms, and she goes on murderous rampages, and she's got a sword that she wields, and she lops off heads left and right, and she wears them as earrings and a necklace, and it's awesome. And when I found out, my reaction was, at least she's repurposing this shit. You gotta use all the parts. It's almost like she went on like Etsy or Pinterest and found like how-tos, like what do I do with the heads of those I vanquish? I found out what to do with those burned out light bulbs. They make a lovely table display somehow. And Martha Stewart's like, use some fishing wire. It looks like they're just hanging off you. So I know I've said all this, and it sounds like I should be horrified by my name, and I'm not. I think it's like one of the coolest things that makes me very unique. However, there's one thing that is just always going to bother me about my name forever. And that's the fact that it will never be on one of those gift shop tchotchkes, ever. All right, thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Come on, get a little louder for the goddess of death and destruction there.